Yo, welcome to my channel, Red Cardinal Tarot. Welcome in, or welcome back, rather you're a new person. It's glad to have you. Today being July 4th, I kind of figured, I thought about it, I meditated, and, with it being, I guess, if you're in the States, maybe a more historical day, I didn't really want to do some flipping some cards for this message, so this message was more, it's going to be more just talking. I do have some notes and stuff I will be talking about and all that here in a second. I hope everybody's having a good 4th, if you something you partake in. A little backstory about it, and also I was thinking, what would be a really good message for today, being, I guess, a more historical day, and stuff like that. So I meditated, thought about it, and Spirit actually guided me to pull out some notes and stuff that I took for myself, way back in kind of more the beginning of my spiritual journey and stuff like that, that might have helped me out. Considering it is kind of ironically, after I wrote it all down and got it all together and stuff, made it more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for, understandable, I guess, to other people, because there are some things that I got in my notebook that they're just it's random. It's not in order, so I just wrote it down as I learned it, as it came to me, as I got the downloads. So I kind of had to take a day or so to kind of sift through those notes and make some logical sense out of it. If you'd like to book a reading with me, you can reach me at redcardinaltarot@gmail.com. And alright, we're not going to hesitate, we're just going to jump on into it and get it rolling here. And with today being July 4th, and if you're a historical person, then you actually know that technically the independence of our country or whatever was actually more so the 2nd of July, not the 4th of July. I thought that was, something a little ironic. But basically, the 4th represents, a death and a rebirth, in a metaphorical, historical, and esoteric context. Symbolizing the end of tyranny and the birth of a new nation. And I was like, well, man, that sounds a lot like a death and a rebirth. And, Spirit kind of led me to, in the esoteric and cosmic cycles, the early July is often viewed as a period of profound spiritual transformation. And it is believed to be the opening of a powerful cosmic portal where individuals like myself or like you who's watching this video can shed old conditionings, and a metamorphical, or what is that? Sorry. Oh, metaphorical death, which doesn't mean a real death. It means more like an ego death, or a mindset change, if you want to view it in that, or look at things from a higher lens, an optical lens, and expand and elevate their conscious, which that would be the rebirth. And so I thought that was pretty cool that July 4th basically talks about a death and a rebirth. And I was like, well, what's a message that you would want me to give that could talk about a death and a rebirth, or something that's more spirituality and stuff like that, that can be tied into a day like such. Again, if you're in the States. If you're not, that's okay. There's still going to probably be something here for you maybe to learn or maybe to refresh your memory on. I do have a couple quotes. I think it's one's from Alan Watts, and I do have a couple Bible verses I will be kind of talking about, and I do have another one from Walter Russell. Okay? So yeah, so with that being said, I'll just jump into it. And, the quote from Alan Watts is, the ironic thing about life is you are a different person to everyone you meet. To some, you're quiet, and to others, you never stop talking. Some remember you for your kindness, others, you might have walked away from. And even a villain to some, unfortunately. But at the same time, you might be a villain to some, you are a hero to many, okay? And to most, you're just a passing thought, a name they once knew because you outgrew them. You evolved, you changed, you developed, and you ascended for your highest and greatest good. But you don't exist to just one person, okay? You'll never truly know yourself if you keep looking outward in life and not actually more inward in what you enjoy and what brings you happiness and what brings you your alignment and your purpose that fits your narrative and your story and your path. So we never really see ourselves like in the manner of others. For example, the people watching this video, see, I never really would experience what you're experiencing watching my video. I can go back and watch it, but I'm still viewing it from my perspective. And that's why it's important to have, to be able to take criticism, good criticism, because we can learn from one another. We can be inspired by one another. We can have a good, healthy competition, where it's like, oh, wow, I like that. I'm inspired by that. And maybe I want to do something like that. Now, trying to copy people, that's the bad competition, So the copycat energy's bad, but being inspired, being liberated in a sense, or maybe stuff like that. That's a good, healthy competition. And you'll never hear your laughter the way someone else does, and you'll never see yourself the way others do, just like I was saying, or how your absence will linger in a room you once was a part of or filled. To yourself, you were just being you, as I'm just being me, and that's what it's all about. But in reality, you're 1,000 different stories, which basically means that, we are multi-dimensional beings. Therefore, because I can be the person and I might be this way that day, and then who knows, I might go talk to this person, and then that day I might be a little more chatty or something, just symbolizing that, we're different people, we're different beings because of their perception, okay, or their perspective, none of which you'll get to see again from their perspective, hence why it's important to try to do the right thing, even if it seems hard, and this is what separates the whole from the fragmented souls on earth, because obviously if you are aligned, if you are healed, then you usually view things in a different manner than somebody that might be maybe lost or fragmented, or maybe haven't found their purpose or their path, or maybe they just simply haven't had to go through the challenges, the difficulties, and the experiences that you the collective or myself, I mean, I can imply myself, that I might have gone through or you have gone through. And that's what makes us individuals, I didn't write it down, but I do remember it. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. One thing that came to my mind when I was doing all of this is it was kind of cool and ironic, I guess, in a sense, and it made a lot of sense too. It was just a real short sentence that Spirit kind of came through, and it said, Spirit told me, "Do you know why the Most High gives us enemies?" Think about it. Well, you're probably thinking, "Well, they're there to test me. They're there to, da 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 da." What? And that's true. Some of them are, but ultimately, if we never had enemies, you, myself, and other people, we would never truly remember the warriors that we actually are. For the Most High, because if we never had enemies, we would never find our strengths. We would never find. It would never push us to evolve. It would never really push us to change. It would never really push us to become better people, not only as individuals, but together as a whole, for humanity itself. And, it made a lot of sense because, I was asking my spirit team, I was like, man, why, like, in one sentence, why do we really have enemies, And it's not to say that we're trying to manifest enemies or anything, because, I just knocked that off. I know they always say new levels, new devils, but in my opinion, that's just an illusion. I think it's maybe just a learning curve that we have to go through, and that's me changing my perspective about how I view things. So I do have a Bible verse here, and basically it's what is this? Genesis chapter 3, verse 24, I believe. It says, "The Garden of Eden, the cherubim and a flaming sword flashing back and forth to guard the way of the tree of life. The flaming sword is the consciousness, of the brain. The tree of life is the central nervous system below the brain. The cherubim is the brain." And what is referring, and it's basically referring to your third eye, or in the Bible it talks about the three wise men, which is actually not wise men. I mean, it is, if you want to, it's wise because the wisdom we can gain, but it's not actually men, It's actually your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, and your thalamus. I believe I'm saying that right. Thalamus, I believe, yeah. And those are all three located at more so the center of our brain, and stuff like that. So, being an ex-Christian and stuff like that, obviously before I went through my awakening, and I didn't quite really, understand things, so I figured, I would jump on here and simply break down some things, and also if you guys have other verses that you would like to share, or maybe you want me to talk about, or maybe to break down, by all means drop it in a comment, and I'll definitely take note of it and see what I can do with that. I don't know them all, but I do know certain ones, and I figured it's with July 4th representing, a perfect time for a metaphorical death and a rebirth, to have our consciousness be expanded. I figured it was a good time to maybe share just some simple spiritual knowledge and wisdom that I've learned and integrated along my way, and maybe it'll help, bring some clarity, or maybe help help you, the collective, maybe view things in a different manner. Now, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you, so everything I do talk about on my channel, usually I do my research pretty thoroughly, so I can give people the correct information. I can bring the truth, because I know there's a lot of misteachings and things that will kind of try to deviate us off our paths and get us into more of a south node, or kind of keep us stuck or stagnant from moving into our north node, or potentially for fully understanding things. And then with that being said, I do have another verse here. It's John chapter 3 verse 14. And it says, just as Moses lifted up the snake in the wilderness, so the Son of Man must be lifted up. Lifting up the serpent is lifting up the Kundalini energy, okay? Moses was teaching people to raise their Kundalini energy to activate their pineal gland, okay? To start tapping into those three wise men, and to actually be able to see things and understand things from a different angle from our angels, okay? Or the Creator, whatever you subscribe to, obviously with good intentions. But basically, the energy and to activate that, which would then give the human an out-of-body abilities. Leaving the body gives you access to worlds beyond time and space, symbolizing that, we are multi-dimensional people, that we are basically here on Earth pretty much to ascend back to our highest selves. It's kind of like Earth is actually school in a sense. Excuse me. Excuse me again. But basically, it's Earth is basically like a training ground. We ultimately move through all the planets. Some of us might have come from different galaxies, star systems, universes, dimensions. I thought about maybe doing some readings about, talking about maybe past lives, or what people might have been in their past lives and stuff, or what the energies come through. But basically, I figured, in a sense, with July 4th representing a death and a rebirth, in a sense, before we actually become awakened, we technically are dead in a sense. We're asleep. We have things we have to learn. We have things we have to go through. And it's not to say that we enjoy it, but ultimately, if we wouldn't have been put through those things, circumstances, or challenges, then it wouldn't have made us who we are today, moving forward. And just as, the Brahma, Brahma is the soul, and Vishnu is your mind, and Shiva is the body, okay? Again, I have tried to talk about that. I do try to incorporate, a wide range of different things, and just like that right there, it's talking about, Moses is basically going around and helping people to raise their Kundalini energy, which is at the base of the spine, and it flows up into the pineal gland, okay? And so this quote is from Walter Russell. I'm just kind of flying through these real quick, obviously, because there's, after this one, I do believe that's kind of more where I'm going to kind of maybe hopefully break it down and make a little more sense of things and stuff like that. and the whole reason you might be asking me, well, why is it important to activate our third eye? Or why is it important to even worry about raising our Kundalini energy? And you know, and the simplest way I can explain it is by this dude's quote right here by Walter Russell. And he basically says that man cannot comprehend God, for man must be God to comprehend him. As man is God, and therefore God is within the comprehension of man. Man is mind, and man is mind, and man is matter, which that's where you get the mind and matter are one, and God is mind. This is a universal mind. Okay, realistically, we are all connected. Obviously, though, some energies we choose not to connect with because they just don't have good intentions, or we're just simply not aligned with them. But everybody on a more higher vibrational frequency, can maybe relate that, it symbolizes that, the Creator is in everything and everybody and everything, rather it's your clothes, it's you, it's the air you breathe, it's the trees, it's your pets, it's your house, it's the lumber in the house, it's the wiring, it's all a part of the Creator. It wouldn't be here, it wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Him. And basically that, us as a human, we have to remember that a hue is the attribute of colors that permits them to be classified as red, yellow, green, blue, or intermediate between any contingent pair of these colors, which, or red and orange, or red with an orange hue, as an example, because if you look at the spectrum, you always got red, and then you got orange, and then you'll have yellow, and then, so on and so forth. And basically what that hue is talking about is it's actually referring to your chakra centers, because each chakra center has a different color and a different meaning and a different corresponding of what they actually bring and what they do for us. And it's important, and that's why it's so important to balance out all of our chakra centers to ultimately be a hue, a ray of light, an indigo child if you want to, or whatever, or crystalline being, because if you look at a clear quartz crystal here, for an example, if you hold it and you look at it from different angles, you see different colors. You can see, you pretty much see all the colors I just suggested if you look at it in the right angle. And basically, it refers to, in a more sense, instead of calling us a being, I like to view it as we are an element, okay? Because mint breaks down to the mind, and L is God, okay? And when you put them together, you have a God mind, okay? Which then that allows, you to view things at a more balanced, integrated, and higher perspective. But you're not doing it from a jealous envy or, you think you're better than anybody. It's just simply more of, in a better sense, this is where, you can say that you're more aligned. You see what I mean? In the spiritual community, that I know they like to say that. But basically, elements only exist within the mind. Hence being that, humans, whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter, just a human, because we are all humans, you know. uh, but basically, humans are God-made flesh, which means a part of me is Creator made flesh. A part of you is God made flesh. A part of your pet is God made flesh. A part of the birds, the animals, the trees, again, everything, it's in a sense, God is made in flesh. Okay? And basically, uh, meaning we are the God in separate bodies, simply manifested in this current time. God is mind of all things, exist in the universal mind. God is thinking all things into existence. Hence this is why they say you manifest your reality. You think it, you get a plan, and then you take action on it, and then boom, bada bang, you complete it. A couple examples, we can talk about, people want to go back to school. Hey, I want to go get that degree, or I want to go learn something, okay? And I'm just saying this as an example, but you think it, that's a thought, that's mind, and then you set a plan, you take action on that plan, and then with you taking action on that plan, the divine, the Creator, and your angels kind of meet you halfway, and then boom, bada bang, next thing you know, you have that skill, you have that degree, you learned whatever that might be, or you, another one could be, really relatable is fitness. A lot of people use fitness. Why fitness is such a big industry is because it's one of the easiest ways people can see tangible results in their manifestation, okay? Even though it may not come as quickly as we would want it to, which that therefore just hints more to divine timing. But basically, you say, hey, I want to get in shape, or I want to do this, and you set the goal, and ultimately, within dedication, hard work, and focus, what normally happens? Well, you reached your fitness goal. You see what I mean? And it all starts with the mind, okay? Which is hence that's where we connect to the Creator, because it's not something to be seen, even though we can see tangible results, and that's great and that's lovely, but ultimately it's something that we on an individual level, we have to experience, and we have to feel it. We have to feel that accomplishment, or we have to feel that vibration, or we have to feel that emotion for it to actually, I guess in a sense, for us to actually say, oh, I did it. It came full circle. And that's hence where, these people talk about manifesting. They try to give people manifesting, advice, and, not all of it's bad, but for sure, that's basically, I guess, the whole concept of it is, you think it, you put it in a plan, you take action on it. Obviously, if it's within good intentions, then, your angels, your Creator, and if it's aligned with you and your purpose, then obviously, they'll meet you halfway, and then shortly before too long, your manifestation, your thought, becomes your reality. Hence, that's where that's the whole point of where we are supposed to bring our heaven to earth. Okay, we are supposed to bring heaven to earth. We are supposed to bring thought to matter. Okay, hope you're following. I know it's a kind of a out there reading, I guess, but I hope it's making sense. But basically, yeah, it's not something to more so to be seen because the creator isn't something to be seen because the creator isn't everything and anything. The creator is something you have to experience. It's something you have to feel with a deep knowing, in a sense. You're like, oh, that's the creator. You see what I mean? Again, in your own personal experience. But we have to experience, but that's what makes us individuals, okay? And we experience it in our own unique way, okay? And that's kind of where the Alan Watts quote is that's the whole reason I wrote that down, because, again, you are a different person to everyone you meet, hence given, that person has a potentially a different personal experience yeah, that they may have experienced, from talking to you, from meeting you, from hanging out with you, or just simply crossing paths, in the store or while you're out and about walking around in the park. I mean, the possibilities are infinite, but it symbolizes, that in this quote here, that it's something you have to be. It has to be felt. Even though we see it with our eyes, and all that, but ultimately, it's what we think, and then it's what we experience through that individual or through that circumstance. And then within doing so, that's kind of where we can be viewed or perceived in a lot of different manners, or a lot of different ways, as again, one person isn't going to exactly meet us in the same mindset or the same whatever it might be, and with your mind is the serpent, because the serpents symbolize knowledge. A lot of times, people are like, oh, when you see, like, I guess, like spiritual pictures or esoteric pictures or anything like that, that, you see serpents or snakes, if you want to, which symbolizes knowledge, which, if you think about the 13th zodiac sign, a fucus, I believe, or the snake bearer, it talks about how there is, you'll see, if you Google that, you'll see pictures of, I believe, a woman, with a snake, which is, and it's symbolizing more so like the divine mother trying to bring you knowledge and wisdom. And the mind is the intellect that connects the soul to the body, okay? So what we think is actually what connects to our soul, which then becomes our reality, okay? And this is why the mind is in the middle, okay? It projects the soul into the reality we choose to experience. Again, it goes back to, everybody can perceive or experience you in a different way. Versus, you can have a group of friends, and this one friend can experience you in this kind of way or this kind of manner, and then maybe this friend might experience you in a different kind of way or a different kind of manner. it simply just breaks down, it's what we choose to experience. If we're going through hard times, well, okay, are you going to sit there? Are you going to choose to experience that hard time and just remain in that hard time? No, absolutely not. I mean, and if you are, then if you're cool with that, then that's on you. This probably ain't for you. But, those, which I don't really feel like I'm attracting those people, and if I am, this channel's probably not for you. I'm just simply going to say it like that. But if, if you choose, if you're in that experience, okay, and then you choose, or you're like, hey, I choose not to be in this experience. I choose to deserve better. I know I deserve better. I know I should have better. Okay? That's you simply acknowledging the situation, and now that you have experienced it, you see what I mean? To a degree, that now you are choosing to experience it in a different manner, usually referring to us, maybe doing shadow work, or maybe doing some introspection, or maybe simply just, getting a vision board, getting a plan and getting an ideal, and then we take action on that ideal, and shortly before long, that ideal becomes our reality, and then whatever we was going through, we have now chosen, the chosen one. You're choosing yourself. You now have chosen yourself to experience things in a more better way, okay, or a more aligned way. You experience something, you didn't like it. You're saying, hey, I would like to experience this in a different way, or in a different light, or in a different manner, and then basically you think about it, your mind, and then basically what happens is you start to manifest. You start to manifest a different reality, but it all comes back down to how you choose as an individual to look at it. Or how I choose to look at it. And, it's simply that's what makes us individuals. That's what makes us separate. Even though we are all one, but that's, in a way, that's kind of why you can see, for an example, you can see, a lot of your more aligned or high vibrational readers, in a sense, or your psychics, or your spiritual people with good intentions. A lot of times you could probably see a pattern, that they'll talk about one thing, and then maybe another person, they might be talking about something very, very similar, but they might be perceiving it because they basically are talking from a point that they have experienced it in a way that they can understand it, and then break it down and give it to the collective, or it has helped them, kind of like as a guideline or a reference point, and that's why sometimes you can see different readers give a message, and then another one might give a same message, and it might have maybe more information on the matter, or maybe it has kind of the same information, but maybe from a different angle, because that's what their angels have done. Their angels have given them a different angle, even though it's ultimately the same topic, maybe, it's still being perceived and experienced in a different manner, okay? And hence, in ancient Egypt time, if you want to look at Egyptian pictures, or even Christianity pictures, you'll see pictures with birds on it, okay, and a little fun fact for you: birds are representing the Holy Spirit. That's kind of where, with my channel, that's where I got my inspiration with putting a red cardinal. If you know where red cardinals are from or where they can be, then in a sense, it's kind of like, no matter how far I might go from, my starting point, even at the end of my destination, I'm still going to have a part of my roots, established in, my channel. And that's why I chose to put a bird in, my red cardinal channel. Also symbolizing the Holy Spirit. Referring to me just coming on here giving messages that I'm guided to do that might help other people. People can resonate with, or that maybe can assist them, because that's my job, it's my purpose, it's what I love to do, it's what I'm here to do anyways, and it can also it can and the soul can also be Jesus Christ, okay, and Jesus meaning the body, okay, and Christ is Christ consciousness, and together you get what Christ consciousness. That's and if people's like, oh, the teachings of what Jesus or whatever was trying to do, it was simply to spread Christ consciousness. We all are doing what we want to do. We all are doing what we are perceived to do and what we need to do in our own unique ways. And if you want to go back to ancient Egypt times, you can look at Thoth or Thoth in a sense, in a way. It's the same thing that he was trying to teach. If you want to look at it from that angle as well. He was simply just trying to help people, raise their Kundalini, protect their energy and stuff like that, and then also come into Christ consciousness, okay? Well, you might be asking, well, why is it important, or how is it going to help me? And basically, I was asked this once, and I told them that in my experience, why I think it would helps people is because when you have Christ consciousness, we can see things not only from a higher level of perspective, the hanged man, the bird's eye view, if you want to, is what I'm seeing in my mind's eye. It's viewing things from a higher perspective. In a sense, it's kind of like if you want to use the 4th of July for an example. When these people in history might have been in war. If anybody was on a mountaintop, having that higher perspective, they could see, all the towns, all the houses, or potentially even any enemies or anything like that, trying to move in and get closer, and that's the whole reason why it's important to raise our Kundalini energy, to awaken our third eye, and to ultimately integrate and to eventually have Christ consciousness, so we can view things from a higher perspective. So not only we can maybe understand why people might do what they do, but also maybe you can use it in a sense of, for yourself, and ultimately that's what it's for. It's for you to view things at a higher level. Excuse me. So you know what you need to do. You can trust your intuition. You can balance out your energy. You can go through maybe hard, difficult situations a whole lot easier and a whole lot smoother. Because we have experienced, something in a sense, and now we are choosing to experience it in a better way. Okay, and it's not to say that uh, hard things or difficult things don't occur. That it's in everybody's life. It comes through, and people experience different things or difficult things in a different manner. Which I think that's kind of cool in a way, because realistically it actually kind of symbolizes that even though uh, we all have our own story to tell, but ultimately, if you would look at, I guess, if our story was broke down into a song, okay, and you wrote your life up to this point out in a song, right? And I wrote my life out into a song. Uh, you actually start to notice a pattern that, even though in the the lyrics, which would be the experience, or maybe different, or deviate from mine to yours, or uh, to whoever, but ultimately the the song itself, the lyrics are different, but the song itself is the same, which that more can be viewed at in a spiritual sense, referring to, um, it's not about the destination, because we all have the same destination, or obviously some people with negative ill will and intentions, no, they don't have the same destination, because they were given ample opportunities to change and do better, and they simply didn't. But excuse me, get some water here. Okay, but either way, it's, even though the lyrics would be different, the song is still the same. So even though the destination is the same, the journey might be different for me, for you, for other people. But it's not to say that I can't take what I've learned up to this point in my experience and help another person, and that's where it kind of referred back to, even though, and it might be hard to do the right thing at sometimes, because people might view you in some weird manner, or if you've walked away from people, they might be jealous or envy, or they might think that, oh, well, you're too good now, or you think you're better than us, or whatever. And honestly, that's an illusion. That's something that they obviously need to work on, and they need to heal on an individual level, and to change their experience and to change their perspective. And until they choose to do that, they have to choose to do that. They have to choose themselves to make that choice. And until they don't choose to do that, well, that's where we see people repeating cycles. Basically, until you learn that lesson and you break that chain, then your wheel of fortune can move forward. Yeah. I hope it's making sense. You know, I did my best. I hope I did a good job of trying to, break it down and stuff like that. But basically, the story of Jesus is symbolic, of the alchemical process that occurs monthly within the human body. Jesus from heaven and incarnates on the earth. You incarnated on earth, right? You're on earth. I'm on earth. Okay. And then, with the symbolic of the Christ oil, traveling down the spine from your brain, okay, from heaven. You're going from heaven down, okay. The sacred oil stays within the sacrum bone, which is at the very base of your spine, for 3 days. Sounds a little familiar, huh? Which is Jesus being dead in the cave for 3 days, as the Bible says. He was dead in the cave for 3 days, and then he was resurrected. Okay, the oil, after the 3 days, the oil raising back up the spine, which that goes back to where was it? I believe it was this one. Yeah, basically, it goes from our brain, from heaven down, and then after 3 days we can come back up. Obviously, that's why it's important to eat healthy, to remain balanced, to remain clear, to remain grounded, and also to not be so lustful, to not be out here just being sexually active with anybody or everybody, because it's important, because if you are doing that, obviously excessively, you're the sacred oil never has the opportunity to actually come and be risen back up and be resurrected in a sense. The oil raising up the spine, yeah. And in the Bible it says that he gets crucified at 33 years of age. Okay, and what this means is the spine contains 33 vertebrae. 33 also talks about being an ascended master. This is where spiritual people talk about, you could be a spiritual master. Which basically it's referring to, if once you learn how to control the alchemical process of the Christ oil, and when when it goes down and when it goes back up. If you would like to know that, drop a comment in the section below, and I can put up a video potentially in talking about so for me, from what I've seen, the easiest way I can break it down, if you guys are interested, I can gladly make a video on that. But it's basically every zodiac sign has a 1 week through the month, and during that 1 week, it's actually very important to be eating clean, to be eating healthy, to be grounded, to definitely be meditating, and also to maybe do some semen retention or something, and just not just not do that for a week. And then what you would notice after the end of that week, usually, and I did a lot of walking and stuff like that during that week as well, just trying to detoxify my body and stuff like that. But what usually happens is usually towards that week, or potentially sometimes some people might need to do it for 2 weeks or so. And then what happens is you will have that crust oil. It'll be risen up through your 33 vertebrae in your spine, And once the oil passes all 33 vertebrae and reaches the optic thalamus, okay, it gets crucified on the cross, okay? And why the Bible says that Jesus was crucified on the cross, it's basically talking about your Kundalini energy. And you know, it gets crucified on the cross because the thalamus, I hope I'm saying that right. I believe I'm saying that right. I hope I am. Thaluhmas. Thalamus. If I'm not, forgive me. I'm sorry. But yeah, but basically, the reason it says that he gets crucified on a cross is because the thalamus in our brain in heaven, it actually, if you actually wanted to Google it, it actually looks like a cross, and that's where they get the symbolic symbolism of, you know, the cross, you know, and the death of Jesus symbolizes turning matter into spirit, as the return of the oil gives the human, you know, supernatural abilities. And you know, and people have asked me, well, what abilities would you have? You know, and that's for you to discover, and that's for you to cultivate, and that's for you to practice, and you know, if that's something you want to do. You know, everybody has different gifts and different abilities. You know, some people, you know, you can astral project, and you know, the whole reason of that, it basically symbolizes that, you know, that even though we are manifested here in this physical reality currently, it's not to say that we can't see things beyond time and space itself, or, you know, tap into energies. This is where, you know, people, you know, with psychic abilities or oracle abilities, you know, they can, you know, sometimes pretty much tell you what may be, or what might happen, or what might be to come, because they obviously have probably mastered this process, and they can tap into that energy. And then with that energy being so, you know, basically, you know, as you raise that Kundalini energy, and you keep it balanced, and you keep it, you know, restored, and you keep that spiritual practice or your spiritual hygiene, you know, up to date. You know, that's how they can, you know, sometimes tell you things that, even though you may not be able to know, maybe that's how they can have that intuitive nudge, and then letting the collective or other people know about what might be to come and stuff like that. Just a little short description there. There's a lot of you know, abilities that we can have, and we can gain, and we can learn. But it's just like anything. You know, we do have to put our time, and we do have to put dedication and effort into practicing and cultivating those things, which is basically, you know, turning you know, a thought into our reality, which is, again, another form of manifesting. And so I did write on the back of this one, you know, to help you guys out, some things you can do as far as detoxifying, like herbs and stuff like that. You can actually get organic sea moss. You can drink alkaline water. And actually, I didn't actually know this one until literally like yesterday, and I thought it was really funny because I actually use this seasoning sometimes, you know, because I like maybe my food to be a little, you know, spicy sometimes. But you can actually use cayenne pepper, and I thought that was pretty fascinating, because I was like, wow, you know, I've been using cayenne pepper for, you know, quite some time now, It was weird because before that I didn't really use it, and I was just in the store one day, and I was looking at something, and the spirit was like, "Hey, you should go get some cayenne pepper, like seasoning," and I'm like, okay, I guess, I'm just gonna trust it, and yeah, and then literally yesterday I finally found out that that's actually one of the things that helps decalcify your third eye. Um, and what actually what actually calcifies your third eye? Because basically you're trying to decalcify your third eye. Basically fluoride can lead to the calcification of the pineal gland, which hence weakens or is weakening the connection to your true self, or your connection to the Most High, to God, to Source, your angels. Again, fluoride is commonly found in tap water, toothpaste, and processed food. To give you a couple examples, stuff like that. So if your toothpaste has fluoride in it, chuck that out the door, and maybe potentially go and get you or order you some toothpaste that's fluoride free. There's a couple decent brands out there. Obviously, processed foods. That's going to be your quick and easy meals. Potentially fast food. Stuff like that, and then obviously tap water. If you're in the countryside and you have well water, then obviously I would say maybe test your water and just see kind of where that's at. But if you're more so in the city, apartments and stuff like that, then you definitely have tap water, city water, and that's got all kinds of chemicals in it. I know one time, I want to say it was like a year or so ago. I actually filled up a water bottle with some tap water. I was over visiting a friend and stuff, and I was thirsty, and I just wanted some water, so I just went to the sink, got some water, and I took one sip, and I'm telling you, I could immediately taste, like, it tastes like chlorine. At least to me, it tastes like chlorine, and I'm like, yo, I can't drink that. I'm good. But it's just maybe it's just one of those things. Once you don't drink it for so long, you can actually easily taste, I guess, the impurities and things and stuff like that. But basically, one of the ancient practices that Spirit wanted me to talk about into helping people open their third eye is to sun gaze. Now, that doesn't mean go out here and look at the sun when the sun is, at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the day, okay? Obviously, if you're not used to doing it, it's recommended to start when the sun rays are weak, okay? And that would be such as a sunset or a sunrise. You can go out in the afternoon, or you can go out in the morning, when the sun's kind of more low, and you can just stare and look at the sun. And sometimes you might feel actually a kind of like a tingling sensation sometimes, like in the top of your head, and stuff like that. That's actually the sun rays actually coming through your eyes and actually being connected into your pituitary gland, your thalamus, and your forgive me, whatever the third one was. Lost my train of thought there. But yeah, basically why it's so important is because the sun rays actually can come in through your eyes and actually help decalcify and illuminate your third eye and your pineal gland, which can actually help you to start to see things potentially It can help, if you're already spiritual, or you're maybe looking into getting into spirituality. It's one of the forms and ways that you can maybe start to do that practice, and to help you maybe strengthen or develop your gifts and abilities maybe more. Again, it also helps to open your third eye. Obviously, these methods, I try to stay away from, referring to other vices that I know people do, that are like, oh, I did such and such and it opened my third eye. Well, I'm not here to promote that, so I try to think of logical, healthy things that everybody and anybody can do. All it's going to take is just your time and your dedication. And again, I remember talking about the Anunnaki, and Anu means the above spirit, and Naki means below matter, which is referring to man. A human is a spirit, which is, a part of God, infused with matter, which makes us a being of an element. And again, an element, El being God, and Ment being mind, being a universal God mind. Okay? So, just as a description here, I found this little doohickey here. I thought it was pretty cool. I hope you guys can see this. I'll bring it a little bit closer. But basically, what this refers to, as you have the feminine energy, you have the masculine energy. But I want you to see here, you have this tree, and at this tree, you actually have a snake going up to the top of the tree. The tree roots being the base of your spine, raising up, spiraling up. You can look at the medical symbol, hospitals and stuff like that. That's the whole reason they have the serpent going up like that, because they think what they're doing is healing, and obviously some of it is good, and some of it is not really helping you. Sadly, it's just a money market. But obviously, as you see here, I hope you can see it. You can actually see like a red little snake right there. And then basically, with that being said, you have a lot of like clocks down here, and they're just kind of like melting, like they're just kind of like disoriented and stuff like that. As you see, basically meaning that you can transcend and move beyond time and space. With raising your Kundalini energy, and following. Which I like this picture a lot too, because if you see the top here, I kind of view this as like a Jesus in a way, and this is the sun, okay, and I did remember talking about where is it at? I think it's right here. Yeah, and the Bible talks about it's Jesus followed the path of the sun, throughout the year, which I like this picture a lot too, because if you notice the sun, actually, if I hope you can see it, it actually looks like a wheel of fortune in a way. So you have your feminine, you have your masculine energy in this picture. Obviously you have the clocks down here, and I don't know if you can make it out or not, but on the masculine side, he has some some coins, some gold coins and stuff like that, which basically you can view that as a symbolic way of moving past earthly material possessions, because they can't come with us when we go. I mean, is it nice to have nice things? Yeah, absolutely. Do we deserve nice things? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, we have to remember that we can't bring none of this with us once we transcend and we move on. And I think that's kind of why the clocks down here are kind of like just melting into the ground, because it's kind of more of a illusion. That's how I view it. It's an illusion. It's not to say that money is not a beautiful tool or anything like that, but I think it's more referring to, in a grander scheme of things, that there's a lot of things that we might be perceiving as valuable in this earthly manner as we are manifested here as important, but it's actually more so just a optical illusion, if you want to say, or a distraction, and to keeping you, your masculine energy focused on earthly realm things that it's going to keep you distracted. It's going to keep you oh, I need more of that, I need more of that, I need more of that, or I need to go get that, I need to go get that, I need to go pay this, I need to go do that. And it's with the clouds here, I kind of see this as it's kind of like the fog. This is the clouds is kind of like the fog that you might have in a way, like you can view it as the clouds are kind of like the calcification of your third eye, your pineal gland, and all that. And until we raise that Kundalini energy, just as Jesus was trying to teach us in the Bible, and we move past and we decalcify our third eye, and we start to see beyond the veil. We start to follow our north node. We start to follow our path, our purpose, our desires that bring us fulfillment, that bring us joy, and stuff like that. With him kind of looking up at the sun, and with the sun being the wheel of fortune, when we choose to do that, and you choose yourself, okay, and it's not to say to be selfish, it's simply saying that, hey, this is what I like, this is what I want to do, this is what I love to do, and I'm going to pursue that, okay? And you can apply that how that resonates for you. In a way, you can think of, if you're in the States, you can think of July 4th, kind of like that in a way, with, it going through a metaphorical death and a rebirth, and being the birth of a new nation, okay, which could symbolize, bringing a metaphorical death. People call it an ego death. Some people might call it a dark night of the soul. I mean, it has numerous terminologies and all that, but ultimately, moral of the story is, you shed old self-limiting beliefs or things that might be weighing you down or holding you down, or that you might be putting your time, effort, and energy into, that might be actually hindering you, blocking you, or not really fulfilling you to your ultimate wish fulfillment, okay? And if you're doing something that doesn't technically bring you ultimate wish fulfillment, then more than likely you're probably not really in your north node. And that's not to say that we can't be in our north node, and sometimes we just have to deal with things that, maybe we just would simply rather not, but, it's, if you're already in your north node, then I'm assuming this collective, some of you guys probably already can resonate, and if you're already in your north node, that you already know, it goes back to the old saying, what is that, new levels, new devils, and you know that it's only going to be just a passing moment or a passing by, pretty much, and then, we already know that it's not there for a long time, and we just have to maybe buckle down a little bit harder and push through that, and then obviously listen to our intuition and listen to the guidance that we have been given, and then with us opening our third eye and actually more trusting our intuition and stuff like that, and following the path of the sun, which is basically each zodiac sign or each season brings us potentially a reward or a lesson to learn, and that's more of a individual way. That's more for you and how you are experiencing it, or what you are choosing to experience. And until you choose to experience it in a different manner or a different way, in a better way, then yes, ultimately you're just gonna stay stuck. And that's the whole reason of why we have difficult situations and why we might have enemies, because it's to build us up, it's to prepare us, and it's to make us that better version and that better person that we ultimately can become, and also to remember, how strong and how much of a spiritual warrior, that we actually all could be if we choose to do so. And then within doing so, following the path of the sun, it's not about worshiping the sun. It's about becoming the sun, being that bright light, and helping others, potentially, with sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, to help them maybe navigate or to guide them, with the best way possible, and potentially their experience into moving forward through that north node, and to see things from that higher perspective. And within doing so, we begin to get that wheel of fortune to turn in our favor, which again is talking about, it's talking about, the movement of Horus, which is, again, that right there. If you want to pause it, you can. You look at it. And it's basically, you have the Earth, you have Isis, you have Ra, and then you have a son of sun. Okay? I'm a son of the sun. I'm a son of the Creator. You are a daughter of the sun. You are a daughter of the Creator. Hence going back to we all have that divinity, and that spark, that inner power, that inner fire of the Creator inside all of us. It's just what are we going to do? How are we going to cultivate that energy in the best way possible, with good positive intentions, not only for myself, but to maybe help assist other people. And that's kind of what it's all about. You don't have to do, you don't have to flip cards. You don't have to be a spiritualist. You could be, you could be a baker. You could be an entrepreneur. You could be a mechanic. But then again, you could be the best baker in your town. You could be a mechanic that maybe you do customization work, and you do maybe some of the best customization work in your area. You see what I mean? It can be applied in many different ways and stuff like that. But basically, it's that wheel of fortune. It's the star, because we are a star. And basically, if I might go deeper into that, if you guys want me to, and maybe explain how you are a star, in a more logical, spiritual sense. I can. If you guys would also like me to potentially, I think my next one, or here soon, I think I might talk about the chakra centers, what they are, what they do, and potentially the signs and synchronicities of that might be happening in your reality, and then you'll be able to know if that chakra center might need to be balanced out, or you might be having an imbalance in that chakra center, and then I will kind of maybe help allow you guys as the collective to maybe recognize that, and I can break it down to where what the chakra centers are basically for, what they're referring to, the frequency hertz to maybe listen to help while you meditate, or to help heal those. I'll gladly put up a video of that if there's a request for that or something. Again, I try not to gatekeep anything that I know. Obviously, there's certain things I can and can't talk about. At least not until we get more. We get the channel up a little bit more, to where we can get like that the members or something, and then obviously we can have a little more free reign and maybe going deeper and talking about some of the esoteric and spiritual insights and knowledge and things like that. But yeah, I think on that note, I know that's a lot of information. I do hope that makes sense. I did my best. I hope I did a good job. I think I did a pretty good job, honestly. With combining, maybe a national holiday into spirituality and how that can resonate and be applied to a sense. I thought that was pretty cool, obviously. But I am going to do this. And if you guys want me to start like naming the decks that I use, I can. Just let me know again, and I will gladly talk about which decks I'm using or which ones I got or anything like that. Also, anything to do with maybe shielding or protecting your energy. One of the best things I found out on a spiritual level that you can do, if you have people with negative ill will and intentions, or you have dark practitioners trying to send you some negative weird energy, or there might be some cult, coven, Masonic group or whatever that might be out there, maybe trying to monitor you or stalk you or anything like that, or they're just trying to do any kind of weird things like that. One of the best tips that I was given from my spirit team, and I'll gladly share it with you guys as well, is to actually take communion in your house, okay? Not at church, in your house. If you're taking communion in your church, that's at the church, okay? I'll just be real. You're taking communion at that church, and then you're also taking communion with everybody else that's in there. And let's just be real, everybody else in there may not really have the best intentions, okay? They could be doing things that you simply may not know that they do behind the scenes and stuff like that. And believe it or not, I actually have talked to, I guess it was, I don't know what you would call her, but she was a very spiritual person in Africa and stuff like that. And she actually told me, because she was a part of a not so great group, because she didn't quite believe in the creator at that time. And she had told me that apparently when you take communion in your house, it's actually shielding and covering you and your home. And then basically, ultimately, these people pretty much can't really, if they try to send you black magic, they try to send you voodoo, negative intentions, they try to do graveyard magic, dirt magic, death spells, whatever weird Delulu thing they might be trying to do. Basically, it's a very beneficial way to help protect and cleanse your home, your house, your family, and to also help protect those that you might love the most. Your immediate family that you might have in your house or your household. And you can do it once a month, you can do it once a week, you can do it twice a week. The preference is yours. I just figured I would mention it because it's very beneficial. It's very good. And it's just one of those things that it really wouldn't cost a whole lot. And everybody can do it. And you can take communion in your house, in your home. And stuff like that. You can look up certain prayers that you can say as you do take your communion, as you will need to, potentially say, a few prayers and stuff before you do that. Kind of like set the intentions. The same way if you want to light a candle, you can use a white candle for purification. You can use a blue candle for truth and protection. A green for money. Red for love, or like root chakra. You can also use different color candles if you like to use candles. You can use certain color candles. Incorporate those. If you know you're working on your third eye or something, you can go get a purple candle. Set the intentions. Hey, I'd like this purple candle to help decalcify my third eye. Bring me good positive energies, stuff like that, and etc. etc. You can apply it how you need to or how you want to, obviously with good intentions. And then that therefore will also kind of help correspond and helping you balance those chakras out. That's another really good tip that I had learned along my way. In the States, the 4th is kind of like Independence Day, and it's about liberation and freedom. And I think that, we all should have the ability to be liberated and freed, obviously, for ourselves, to not only benefit ourselves, but to help benefit other people and stuff like that. So I just figured I would share that bit of wisdom as well. And then actually, that's something that I've seen a lot of churches. I've never really seen a church actually say, hey, you should take communion in your home, which I thought was kind of weird. And then when I actually did do it and I found out, I'm not going to per se talk about it, but I will say that there was definitely a change for the better. And you might notice something odd when you do that. You might notice some people might try to be moving in a little closer or get a little closer to you. And the reason why is because once you take that communion, it's pretty much you are putting a shield of protection over your house, over your home, and over your family members that are in that house and the home. Okay? In my opinion, that's one of the best spiritual advices for protection that really anybody can use. Now, obviously, if you don't have good intentions and you haven't had good intentions and you try to do this, then obviously, I don't know, I can't speak on that because I'm not about that. I would say you might want to, get your ducks in a row before you might do that. But those that have done the work, those that are trying to do the work, and those that do have positive, good intentions, it's, go get a little loaf of bread, go get some juice or something. There you go. $10. Boom. You can take communion with your whole family. And it's a very powerful thing. Again, it's not expensive. It's not really much of nothing. It's it just takes your time and your dedication, and your choice to do that. I just figured if anybody might be going out there that might be new or might be still a returning viewer or anything like that, if you might be dealing with anything like that, I figured I would share one of the best things you can do that's very cost ineffective, without breaking the bank, and you can actually include not only yourself but your whole family and your loved ones. And I thought that was pretty awesome, so I figured I'd share that. So we'll go ahead and get 2 or 3 cards here, or 2 or 3 cards if anything. The divine spirit, your angels might want you to know that might correspond or relate with this message. I hope everybody does have a good 4th. Those that are barbecuing, grilling out, or spending time with the loved ones and stuff like that, that's what it's about, really. And, yeah, so, okay, so your first card out here is, it's definitely time for a shift in perspective. Spirit wants you to view life from a higher perspective, which is exactly what I'm talking about. With raising your Kundalini energy and awakening your third eye, it allows you to, view life from that higher perspective. I'll show you the card here in a second. To discover hidden harmony and meaning. And that's very true, because before I started doing any of my things or anything like that, I was probably a little bit imbalanced, or I was a bit sometimes and I didn't exactly understand why I was going through things or certain things at that time or that matter. Obviously now where I'm at and looking back, I fully understand why I went through it, why I needed to go through it, and what the lessons were and what it served me. And obviously, at the bottom it says spiritual evolution, expansive vision, and consciousness expansion. Simply talking about what we're just talking about right here. With the 4th, with it being a symbolic time of a death and a rebirth. Also, if I do remember, yeah, exactly, in esoteric and cosmic cycles, early July is often viewed as a period of profound spiritual transformation, believed to be the opening of a powerful cosmic portal where individuals can shed old conditioning, a metaphorical death, and elevate their consciousness and have a rebirth. So if this is something that you are definitely maybe looking into, or maybe you're wanting to look into, this is actually a very great time for those that are maybe trying to open your third eye or to raise your Kundalini energy. Obviously, each zodiac sign has a week of each month where it actually can be implemented a lot better and a lot more powerful, and stuff like that. I just love when I talk about something and it's like spirit just comes through, into cards, and just pretty much just clarifies everything that I've discussed or I've talked about. And also, with this card here, I might be talking to a grid worker. If you see all the lines going to and from this individual here in the center, with the expansionist and stuff like that. So that's what's up. Excuse me. And yeah, so your next card is the Divine Light. Divine Light clears the darkness and reveals the truth. So yes, so if you've had any questions, any doubts, any concerns, any confusion, it's important to raise your own Kundalini energy. It's important for you to stay on your spiritual hygiene and stuff like that, because if you are choosing to go down that path, or you are on that path, it's important to do that, because it does illuminate the light. The light does clear the darkness. Again, if you wanted to view this, the sun removes the clouds, in a sense, if you want to. It's not always going to be cloudy. You see what I mean? And then with that divine light, with tapping into that divine light, tapping into that higher frequency, um, creator, your angels, your spirit team, they will come down and alleviate some of this fog, some of this false narrative, maybe some things you might be uncertain about. And also, it does reveal the truth. And sometimes when we go through certain processes, and we do have truths revealed to us, sometimes it can be hard to accept it, or to understand maybe why at the time. But Spirit and Creator is obviously saying, to trust in its guidance, to show you the way forward. Again, exactly. Once we raise our Kundalini energy, we use that wisdom and knowledge that we gain the serpent. Okay, once we have that wisdom and knowledge, we can then, if you want to, you can view it another way. Once you have that wisdom and knowledge, then we can then take it from a thought, and actually ground it into our reality, okay, and make it manifest. And then we can share it, and then we can perceive it, and then we can understand it, and then we can not only maybe benefit from it, but maybe also make things less difficult, maybe easier for us. And also says, at the bottom here, it says illumination and spiritual clarity with the truth revealed. So yes, exactly. It's a lot of times why the Matrix doesn't want us to tap into this or to do this, or why the whole Vatican and all that over there in Europe pretty much burned a lot of the evidence that talks about opening up your pineal gland, opening up your third eye. It's because it does bring illumination to the truth. It does bring spiritual clarity, not only for you, but potentially for other people. And then also it will expose the truth, and the truth will be revealed. And then sometimes the truths can be, pretty big. But it's not to say that it's a lie. It's as crazy as it might seem. Sometimes when we get downloads, or you get downloads, I think spirits want you to, maybe practice grounding your energy, or maybe to trust maybe more of the downloads that they might be trying to bring to you. And then obviously we will get 2 more here. So thank you, Spirit. This next one says the path of miracles. It says the universe is laying out a path of miracles for you. It says trust and follow it. It says magical encounters, spiritual journey, and inner awakening. Exactly. So on this card, you see there's a book down at the end. So like I can use myself for an example, taking the wisdom and the knowledge and experience that I've had in my life, and moving, through the path, following my journey, going through my journey, trying to reach my destination, and following the sun, and stuff like that. So maybe it's time for you guys to maybe, to have that shift in perspective, and to actually start going towards your wish fulfillment. And if you already are, then maybe it's spirits maybe saying that maybe you might need a little more inner guidance, or maybe you need to trust that inner guidance that they're bringing you. It says, because this one is inner guidance, and it says to trust your inner guidance. It is the purest voice of your soul. That's powerful. That's powerful. And at the bottom it says your intuition, your inner compass, and your spiritual wisdom. As you see, there is a key right here, okay, at this. And then you see this being, this element, okay. with his he's kind of like pointing to his chest. Okay, he's kind of like that. He's pointing to his chest, which is his heart center. Which a lot of times when we start down a spiritual path or a spiritual journey, or you know, go towards our north node, you know, sometimes it's important to you know, to have our, it's not to say that we can't have strong boundaries, but we need to have an open heart chakra. We need to have an open heart center. That way we can view things, we can see things, and we can perceive things with you know, having that shift in perspective, and following the divine light, the creator, you know, and going towards our north node brings miracles. But this spirit's kind of, it keeps bringing this key up, man. So maybe this message is a key for somebody that maybe you've been missing or something. I don't know. Into opening up your heart chakra potentially, or something like that. Obviously, if you're working on your pineal gland and stuff like that, and you're trying to raise your Kundalini energy, it's really important to obviously start with your root. And I say that because you start with your root and work to your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, and then your earth star, or not earth stars below, your star chakra. And also with the chakra centers, it's actually the same way on your spine. So obviously at the base of your spine, that's your root chakra. So you know, you know, sometimes people have back pain, stuff like the lower back pain, which, you know, sometimes it's caused because of other things, but sometimes you know, people have lower back pain because that's an indication that there's an imbalance in your root chakra. Okay. Just as a tip or a hint there, if that's something you might be dealing with. Usually when that occurs, you know, that's kind of like an indication of something obviously in your root, your foundation, your stability is not balanced out, and maybe that's spirit trying to get your attention, you know, to say, hey, instead of doing whatever, maybe you should look at it from a different perspective, to shift your perspective, to trust the intuition or the guidance or the downloads they're bringing you, and with that inner guidance, okay, and choosing yourself, chosen one, which, you know, again, I don't really care to use that terminology. I think we're all chosen. We just you know, we have to find what we're chosen for, you know, and then what makes us happy and what we want to do, and how we want to go about doing that, you know. And I'm just gonna get one or two more here. Oh well, I guess that's good timing. So spirit wants you to know that the lunar energies do protect you. You know, the moon's energy shields you with a protective force. Trust in the guidance to find clarity during times of uncertainty, which again, that goes to talking about why it's important to balance our chakra centers. It's important to raise our Kundalini energy, because, you know, obviously, if we are uncertain about things, you know, when we raise our Kundalini energy, usually we have a shift of perspective. We you know, lean or trust into that inner guidance, you know, with the divine light coming in to illuminate whatever might be hidden, and then within doing so, you know, it can turn that wheel of fortune in your favor, or it can close out old cycles that no longer serve us, and it allows us to move forward. And then obviously it says, so maybe spirit is saying that maybe to work with lunar energy, or maybe to do the sun gazing at the evening time when the moon is more getting ready to be prominent in a sense. Yeah, and it basically says intuition. So boom. And I think this is referring to, yeah, I love how this card, I don't know, you guys see that card? Like, doesn't that kind of look like Earth though, in a way? Which I think that's funny because we was talking about, it's what we experience, it's what we choose to experience here on Earth, until obviously we, transcend and reach our destination. So it's I think the divine, the universe, the creator is letting you know that you are protected, you are safe, you are okay. But maybe it's time to start trusting your intuition, to start trusting that inner guidance, and to allowing you to move forward and stuff like that. And let's get one more. I know I just kind of feel like I'm just yabbing along now. Hope you guys don't mind. All right. And oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So, and with your last card before I close out the reading, it says the River of Destiny. It says trust the flow of the river of destiny. It will carry you to your soul's truest desires. Trust in that inner guidance, okay, and go with the flow, okay. It says flow, adoption, and soul guidance. You see this person here, and I love how the cards. I want to show you guys this. I want to show you guys. I don't know. I just think this is pretty cool, but. Well, we'll do two at a time. Maybe. Okay. So you see how we have a person, okay? You're just kind of like out in the abyss, right? And then we see a person starting down a trail, right? Starting down that north node potentially, listening to that guidance. And then it's kind of like as the reading or the cards came out, the whole thing kind of got illuminated in a sense. And then you're not really maybe for sure how to move about it or something like that. Spirit's saying to go with the flow though, move like water, release that old emotion that no longer serves you, obviously. And then I love how you go from this dude, right, which it's like it looks like a bunch of grid lines, like a grid work or something. And then you have the one path, and then obviously being illuminated, and then you have the other path which takes you straight to the sun, straight to the creator, right? And then it literally has in this card now, you see, instead of having all the zigs and the zags and the curves and all that, see, when you start trusting your intuition, look how much easier, instead of going all through that, when you start trusting the guidance, you start listening to the intuition, you start listening to what your angels or your spirit team or the creator is trying to bring in for you, you see how much smoother and easier that path is to follow, because it's more aligned with you, it's more authentic, and at the same time, again, just confirmation here, at the top right here, you see that moon, so you are definitely very protected. There's also I believe there was another moon in one of them, I don't know, but either way, maybe it's time for a shift of perspective, to trust the divine light. Obviously, it might seem like a long journey. It might seem like a long, twisty, bendy road or path, or what's the saying? A narrow path to walk or follow. But I love how the path goes real narrow, And all of a sudden, when you change your perspective and you start going with the flow, see how much wider that path becomes. See how much easier that path becomes. Which that means that you're not fighting yourself. You're not resisting yourself. You're not resisting, the messages or the downloads or the intuition that Creator or your angels or your spirit team might be trying to bring you into helping illuminate and open your heart chakra, and to open your third eye, and to allowing you and to give you the keys to move into that, and yeah, if you like the video, hit the like, comment, share it with people. I greatly appreciate the support. I might do another one today or tomorrow. I'm not too sure. It is the 4th weekend, obviously, and I'm sure, like myself, many people might be, a little bit busy and stuff like that. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, I am open for those. You can reach me at redcardinaltarot@gmail.com. And if you got something from this and would like to show your support, it's not required, but it is appreciated. My Cash App is in the description as well. And yeah, I hope you guys got something from me just kind of sharing some personal information about something that maybe had helped me along my way. And I'm still learning. Obviously, I didn't even know the whole cayenne pepper thing, like I said. So that was pretty cool. I was a bit shocked, honestly. But yeah, we'll catch you on the next one, and peace out.